everyone. Hi. Hello. Welcome. Happy Friday. Happy end of the week. I hope your week was very well. I hope things you things were well this week. And welcome to the show. Q&A with Dr. Mercy. Hello everyone. Well, before I get started on our topic, um, I wanted to know, um, where you guys are I'm actually viewing this from. So if you could please write in the comment section where you're viewing it from. But anyways, good evening. Happy Friday. Welcome to another session of Q&A with Dr. Mercy. I'm Dr. Mercy, and we're going to talk about a very serious topic. I typically don't do topics on mental health because we already have Dr. Hammond, who is doing that on a regular. But because of the recent events that happened, I decided, you know what? Let's go ahead and check in with our mental health. Not only that, but because of the holidays, and there's a lot of people who get triggered, and their symptoms or mental health gets worse during the holidays. I definitely decided that, you know what? Let's talk about this. This is really important. So, hi, Angela. Hi, Angela Moore. You're viewing from Texas. Awesome. Um, Bruce Lucas, Newport News. Newport News. Okay. Is that a city or is that a news station? But hey, welcome. Sharon Taylor, Katy, Texas. Um, Great. Katy, not too far from where I'm located. That is awesome, Sharon. Hi, good evening. Rhonda Morris from California. That's awesome. Tracy from Chicago. Okay. Maxine Forrest from Alberta in Canada. Okay. All right. And Maryland. Wow. Okay. Florida. That's awesome. New Jersey. Welcome. India. Ooh, okay. Dr. Kata. Okay, that's great. And from Virginia, I believe that is. Good evening. Good evening from San Francisco. Thank you, Miss Anderson. Good evening. Good evening. Texas. Um, Lambert from the UK. Okay. All right. Okay, Sharon Taylor. Oh, Newport News, Virginia. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know the East Coast like that, but okay, that's awesome. Welcome. That's awesome. Raleigh, North Carolina. Reed from London, Canada. Oh, okay, that's awesome. Out of South Carolina. So we're all over. We're all over the world. We're mainly in US, but we're all over the world. Well, thank you guys so much. Jamaica. Okay, that's awesome. Good evening, Princess. How are you? Okay, guys. Thank you guys so much. I always love to know where you guys reside because it's just so awesome to see just where our reach is. Can you believe? I mean, I don't know, like in the 90s or even in the 80s, who would have thought that we would be in such a online platform where we can reach each other from different parts of the world. So that's always awesome to kind of see that. Anyways, like I said, we're going to be talking about what I feel is very important. And the reason being is, as some of you guys are aware, a very popular personality named DJ Twitch. I believe he was Stephen Boss, who was in the Ellen DeGeneres show, and he committed suicide. And it was very shocking to a lot of people because of the fact that, he's a very bubbly person, happy-go-lucky type person. And so his death by suicide just shocked the world. In the medical field, that is also something that even within our medical community we deal with, because a lot of times, especially when it comes to the medical profession, the physicians, there's a lot of them that commit suicide. And okay, sorry guys if I start freezing. So I've been sadly, seen quite a lot of people close to me from medical school all the way to residency, where you hear, oh, this one is no longer with us. And you're like, whoa, when I was talking to that person last week, they seemed fine. Now they killed themselves? What? Or this person went to a very good profession, but they killed themselves? What? So it made me realize that, we all mask our pain, and some more than others. And this is an important topic that I think has to do with, your health. Okay, we always talk about, or at least for me as physicians, in the that are not psychologists or psychiatrists, we talk a lot about physical health, and you need to exercise, you need to eat right. And yes, do those things matter? 100% yes. And does it even matter to your brain? As you'll see, 100% yes. But just as we talk about physical health, we need to also kind of say, well, mental health is just as important. And it's okay to be down, it's okay to be depressed, because once in a while we can be that way due to situations. We're stuck in a rut, or, sometimes hormonal, sometimes just for a number of things. But to now stay in that mood and get even worse, that's where it starts to be, as we term it in the medical field, pathologic. So we want to make sure, just as we want to take care of our physical health, that the brain is part of that physical health. And we should also want to take care of our mental health. And so that's why I decided today we'll discuss that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the slides that I created for that. Just a moment. All right. And if you guys have any comments, please make sure, if you have any questions, make sure to jot them down on the comment section. Also, like this video, this live, also share it, so that anybody who, is suffering from any mental health disorders, they can also learn from this as well. Okay. All right. So before I get into that, I just wanted to also just do some housekeeping announcements. As I've been talking about, yes, I'm sorry. Let me just answer a question. Yes, Ms. Thomas, we will definitely have this on the BWE platform, the Black Women Empowerment platform. It's either in LinkedIn, in YouTube, or in the Facebook community. So either of those three, you'll see this live recording. So yes, I hope that addressed your question. Okay, so before I get into it, we have this 2023 Water Challenge that we're going to start January 15th, okay? And this is a way for us to kind of start afresh. It's a new year. So one way for us to kind of do a positive change with our body is kind of pay attention to the amount of water intake we're doing, okay? Or we're consuming, rather. Water is so important to us. The majority of our being is water. And I've noticed, as a physician who goes to the hospital, who takes care of patients who are hospitalized, there is a large number of conditions that could have been avoided had that person just drank an adequate amount of water. Example, passing out spells, or even these recurrent urinary tract infections. So I felt that, one of the first challenges that I want to do for myself and extend it to the BWE community is, let's do a water challenge. Let's, for 30 days, focus on how much water that we're consuming and making sure we consume the daily water requirement. As you guys always know, or as you guys probably know, it takes about 2 weeks to develop a habit. So we're doing it in 4 weeks. So hopefully by the end of the 4th week, you can see how you feel at the beginning of the challenge until the end of the challenge. So if you are interested in doing this water challenge, please email me your name at waterchallenge2023@gmail.com. Again, email me your name at waterchallenge2023@gmail.com. In the beginning of the month, in January, I'm going to be sending out the specifics when it comes to this challenge, and I'm super excited, and I hope you join me. Okay, and so it begins. Let's talk about our mental health, and particularly the disorders when we do not adequately take care of our mental health. And when I say that, I am not saying that all the time you get depressed or suicidal thoughts and it's all related to you not taking care of your mental health. Some of it could just be genetics, but a majority of it is treatable. Okay, and so let's talk about it from the standpoint of it being treatable for you. So when you think of depression, there's a lot of things that could be the cause of it. And as you can see in this diagram set ahead of us, or set before us rather, depression can come as a result of trauma, as a result of just sorrows, a change of climate, loss of loved one, when you start getting criticism either from yourself within or from external forces or people, when you're abandoned, just a number of things can trigger a depressed episode. And like I said earlier, it's okay to to have a depressed mood once in a while. Just like you're happy, there's going to be days when you're sad. So it's okay to have that. But it's when it gets prolonged, when majority of the time, for the most of your days, you're just depressed. That's when you know it is not something you should be dealing with on a regular basis. It is not normal. And the problem with depression, and why I tag it along with suicide, is that when depression is prolonged and becomes uncontrolled, that's when the suicidal thoughts start coming into play. That's when you start thinking, hey, you know, I'd be better off dead, or maybe I should, do an act to kill myself. And that's when you're starting to get to that severe end. Okay, now we want to prevent that from happening. So I want to tell you more about, the different causes of depression. When you have a depressed mood, again, it could be because of external forces. It could be the loss of a job, a loss of a friend, or just a situation. Okay. You're going to be depressed about it. Okay. And that could be a short-term thing. But there could be other causes of depression. And as you see in this slide, there's numerous causes. And so when you feel that depressed mood and you feel like, oh my goodness, it's never going to shake off, that may not be. Okay. Maybe it may be due to something underlying that your body's trying to tell you, that once you clear that out, the depression will go away. So the causes, well, the first cause that I wrote down is it could be genetic. And if it is genetic, you know that your mom had it, your grandmother had it, your great great grandmother had it, and now you have it. Okay, well, then that's just something that you can't control. And what's the next step? The next step will be to get clinical treatment for it. But that's one cause. Another cause is, your childhood, or even some form of abuse. You may have experienced physical abuse, sexual abuse, even emotional abuse, and it led you to this state of being depressed. And you could also have it due to lifestyle changes. Did you know that, if you're inactive or you're not exercising a lot, that can also lead to depression? Even you not being able to keep a good sleep hygiene can lead to depression. So you're not waking up or getting up at regular times after sleep, or you not going to sleep at regular times, can cause your body to just feel very, lack of a word, warped. And because of you not being able to have full restorative sleep, you now have a depressed mood. It could be due to addiction. If you're addicted to alcohol or any of the other substances, that could also lead to depression. Another cause that I pointed out there is nutrition. What people don't know is sometimes nutrition can cause you to have depression. So like a low folate or low omega-3 fatty acids, if you have those can lead to depression. And while we're on the subject, exposure to certain toxins can lead you to depression. So if you have high mercury levels or lead excess in your body, or even copper or arsenic, these are things that you're like, where can I get that? Sometimes you can get it due to your environment. If you're next to a chemical plant, or that could, you're inhaling all those pollutants that they're spewing out, that can cause it. Or as we saw, it could be water contaminants, as we saw in certain states that had water contaminants, and people were having I'm trying to think, lead toxins. So it could be stuff like that. Also, as we were talking about earlier, social stress can cause it. So any traumatic event can cause it. Another cause is any medical condition. So if you have advanced cancer, if you have hypothyroidism, even diabetes can cause this. And then lastly, which you can't see, is medications. That's very, very common. Medications can actually cause this as well. So certain medications can, one of their side effects is having a depressed mood. So before you think, oh man, why am I so depressed, and you start beating yourself down because of it, just think, hey, is my body trying to tell me something? Is there something, that's not going on correctly? And start seeking help for it, whether it's a mental health professional or whether it's your medical provider. Start seeking help so that they can help you tease out what it is exactly that's causing your depression. And if we can correct it, great. And if we cannot, that's fine. We can give you medications for it. So what are the symptoms of depression? Is it just the depressed mood? No, there are other symptoms. So I just wanted you guys to be very aware of what we consider the symptoms of depression. So of course, it's a depressed mood. You feel it most of the day. But besides that, it's a loss of interest and pleasure in most of any activities, or even all activities. So things that you used to have pleasure in, you no longer have pleasure in anymore. It's also having symptoms of either sleeping too much or sleeping too little. You can also have significant weight gain or weight loss. You can feel very irritable or agitated when you're depressed or have depression. You can also feel fatigue or low energy. And then you can also have the feelings of just difficulty with concentration, not being able to think or make any decisions. Another thing is you can have thoughts of worthlessness. You can have excessive or inappropriate guilt. And then, like we said, it can lead to having these recurring thoughts of wanting to kill yourself, or suicidal ideations, meaning thinking of wanting to kill yourself or actually attempting to do so. So these are the symptoms of depression. If you have a majority of these symptoms, definitely get some mental help, okay? Go to a provider, whether it's a medical provider or a mental health professional, and seek assistance. If you have suicidal thoughts, you definitely need to seek assistance ASAP. So if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I want to kill myself, go to the nearest hospital and get treatment. Go to the nearest hospital, get treatment. It is not worth it. It is not worth it. What I've learned in life with the number of years that I have lived is the following: this too shall pass. Whatever it is, it will pass. If you are feeling stressed because of certain situation, it will pass. And I've always told, just like I just like I tell my patients all the time. Well, it's actually told, because I did this past tense, but just like I tell my patients all the time, whenever you're in a stressful situation, and a lot of them sometimes like, I don't know, I can't stop thinking about it. I'm just so anxious about this. I don't know what to do. I said, well, what you want to do is first calm down. Okay. You just want to just calm it down. Okay. Realize, especially, that this will pass. Okay. Focus on just being okay with what's going on in your presence now. If you have to just think about just being calm for the next hour. Think about being calm for the next hour. Think about being calm for the next day. Think about being calm for the next day. Even if you have to take it minute by minute, just take life as slowly as you can. Don't allow pressure, don't allow guilt, don't allow emotions to overwhelm you. And a lot of them are always receptive. And as I am a Christian, I do know that, God is the protector. And you say a simple prayer and say, Father God, I am really stressed right now. Please, God, please take control of this situation so that I may be able to do your will. In the name of Jesus, in Jesus' name, amen. And allow your faith to now take over, to say, you know what? God's got this. I don't need to stress no more. God has this, and He has my corner. He knows what's best for me. He will not allow me to go through something if it was not for me to go through, and He will allow me to make it on the other side. There's a lot to do with faith. Faith is very, very, very important, not only for your physical health, but also for your mental health. This too shall pass. So, besides calming yourself down, besides telling yourself, that you too can do this, if you are in a mental crisis, there are helplines out there that you can go to help you, because sometimes you're just way too overwhelmed that you're like, I cannot do this. I cannot do this on my own. I need help. And if you feel suicidal or have any suicidal or feel like you want to attempt to kill yourself, definitely don't do it alone. You need to call someone. So the 211 line, I actually literally got this from their website. This is a number within the United States where you can call for assistance if you have, any, if you have any emotions, any stress that you just feel like you can't do it alone. If you need help talking through a problem, or just even exploring different mental health treatments and options, you can talk to a live person. It's confidential, so they don't know who you are, and you can just be free to be you, and that person will help you and guide you and walk you through what your situation is. So you are never alone. What you should realize is you are never alone. Even if your friends can't help you or your family can't help you, there are resources out there. There are people out there that can help you. They're just a phone call away. And it's a 24-hour, 7 days a week resource that you can dial. And I'm pretty sure, just like they have these phone lines here in the US, that they will also have these phone lines in other countries. It's just a simple Google and Google mental health hotline. If you Google mental health hotline in your country, I'm pretty sure they have these I'm pretty sure that they have these hotlines that are available for most of these countries, not all, but majority of the Western countries. Another phone line where you can call is the 988 number, and that 988 number is the suicide and crisis line. This is if you feel like, oh, I need to call. I feel like I want to kill myself. I don't know why these emotions are here. Definitely call this hotline. They will be able to help assist you. If you don't want to call the hotline, or you don't want to call the 1-800 numbers, 1-800-273-8255. Again, it's 1-800-273-8255. No problem. You need help. If you start feeling it and the suicidal thoughts and it's very strong, you need to go to the hospital right away. So these are the numbers that I definitely want you guys to share with others so that everyone knows that nobody's alone. Nobody is alone. So again, what are treatments that we could do, to kind of help optimize our mental health? Besides going to your physician if you feel you're depressed and getting on an antidepressant, um, the there are other things you could do while you're on the antidepressant or when you're not on the antidepressants. You want to focus on one thing. Sometimes when we're multitasking, we're stressing out and stuff like that, we've said yes to so many different projects, or we felt overwhelmed because we're so swamped with things to do. We should just take a chill, write all those things you need to do, and then say, okay, I'm going to do this task, this task, this task today, and then I'll leave the other tasks for next time. I've found that when I've become overwhelmed like that, I end up writing things down. And as soon as I write things down, everything starts to calm down. And then when I start dividing the task in different days, and then before you know it, I'm no longer overwhelmed like I was before. So focusing on one thing is always key, and just kind of just monitoring how overwhelmed you get. Don't get yourself too worked up. Always be thankful. Obviously, you want to, when they say always be thankful, you want to remember that there is always something positive in your life. When there is something, you feel something negative, a lot of times the negative thoughts come to our heads. Oh, da, 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 da. Oh, look at this person, they're better than me, or look at this person, they got this and I didn't get it. It's so easy for negative thoughts to come into your head. I wish positive thoughts can come as more frequently than negative thoughts. So find a way to now switch your brain whereby you're now focusing on the positive, right? So that would be maybe positive affirmations, maybe writing things down. I am smart. I am beautiful. I am a highly successful person. Just start writing different affirmations that you can tell yourselves on a daily basis. And you may be like, oh, this is just so like stupid to be doing. But no, it is a way for you to internalize positive energy. And that way, that can also help rewire your mind to stop dwelling on the negative and now focusing on the positive. Be open to talking with someone. I I will be the first one to say that I see a psychologist. I am open to talking to someone. I'm open to talking about my situations because I know that mental health is key. So be open to talking to someone. Keep in mind, even though you're open to talking to your family and you're open to talking to your friends, they are not trained medical professionals. So don't be surprised if their reactions are not the typical reactions you would want to see or you would like to hear. Be open to talk to a mental health professional, whether it's a psychologist or a counselor or even a psychiatrist. Just be open to that. When they say sport, what they mean is exercise. As you see, from what I talked about previously, exercise, lack of exercise actually is one of the reasons why people become depressed. So obviously, if you start exercising, that can be able to help improve your mood. Sleeping on time, again, if you sleep on time and you wake up on time, that will help improve your mood. And lastly, don't forget to rest. So in light of what happened this week with that gentleman who committed suicide, I believe one of the reasons why he got to that point is he was suffering in silence. Don't suffer in silence. If anything that you got from this talk if you got anything from this talk, it would be stop the silence. Let's start talking. Let's start talking. Let's start talking. Let's start talking. I love the fact that nowadays mental health is starting to be less of a stigma, but we should still keep on talking. Don't be afraid to talk to someone. Reach out to either, if it's your friends and your family that you think are your supportive system, or reach out to a mental health provider. So I hope we learned, especially because of this recent event, that we should stop the silence. Don't suffer in silence. Start talking. So again, here are the numbers that I talked about earlier. And if you guys have any questions, let me see. I don't think so. If you have any questions, feel free to jot them down in the comment section. Even after the replay, I will make sure to answer them. But if you don't, have a good and wonderful weekend and happy holidays. Don't stress out now. And have a good time until next time. Bye.